2 weeks ago we met and we talked about Mythos and Fable 5 and all the good and bad things that were coming with this new model, and everything stopped. So today we are going to talk about what happened in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. Who can keep track of all of that that's been going on? It's been quite a whirlwind.
Yes. So welcome to a new episode of the Digital Edge podcast. Dominic and I, we are going to talk about the latest development about new AI models, and beyond that, the technical, but beyond the political and everything that goes with these new technologies. So Dominic, you want to walk us through what happened recently?
Yeah, I think in a nutshell, right? We've always seen AI models being released continuously over quite some time, right? Where all the makers of these AI models are trying to upend each other with better features and more access and more advanced capabilities. And what happened with Fable 5 was really the first time where a model was released and then pulled back, uh, apparently because it was too good,
Yeah.
right? And on top of all things, it's been pulled back because the US government deemed it not to be secure for general use. There's been rumors floating around that somebody was able to jailbreak the restrictions that the Fable 5 model had over the Mythos model, which was the all powerful, dangerous model that allowed its user to identify security vulnerabilities and do all kinds of things that may be risky to have in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
So right now we're at the point where that Fable 5 model, even though it's been restricted, is not available from Anthropic anymore. And discussions or rumors are floating around about what the next steps maybe in that regard, if it's going to come back, if it's going to come back in a different format, or what the changes might be. What have you
Yeah.
heard on the on that front? Because I think the news are a little bit, in the rumor zone mostly.
So I use Claude every day, and it's true that I see this warning: Fable 5 is not available. And I thought it was restricted because I'm not sitting in the US. But now I realize that it has been banned for everyone, right?
Yes, that is correct. The same thing for me when I log on. Since that day 2 weeks ago or whenever it was, it's been showing up that it's currently not available without much further explanation.
But I mean, you said that it might come back. I mean, do we really understand? If it's a technical issue, or is it more like a commercial point from the US saying this is a very important and powerful model that we want to keep for ourselves, as we have seen in the past that some technologies were not, were restricted or could not put in the hands of, countries that are not allies. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting topic, right? We've had technologies for a long time that have been restricted. Oftentimes, we think of weapons, right,
Yeah.
that have export restrictions on them, of course. But even in the computing world, there's been long-standing restrictions on encryption and information security software, right? That the U.S. Is looking to protect. There's restrictions in quantum computing and related technology, even in the development of frontier AI systems. There have been rules in place for that. And of course, also on the hardware side with advanced semiconductors, chips, GPUs, and manufacturing equipment thereof, right? That has also been in place. But this is a little bit of a novelty, right? Of like a web-based application, open to use, and for the government now to say like, oh, stop, this is too much, right? We don't want adversaries to be able to use that or other parties for nefarious uses, right? And now we have this lockdown of a AI model for the first time.
Yeah, and maybe one thing that was more in the small prints and not many people saw is that both Fable 5 and Mythos had a mandatory 30-day data retention policy, which you could not opt out of. So it means that it's like regulated industry like finance or healthcare, where you have to keep track of how the model is used. So maybe there is the beginning of some regulation or some accountability and traceability that are coming with those new models.
Yeah, I think it could very well be, right? I mean, one rumor that's floating around that I don't know how true that is that authentication is required for potential future use of the Fable 5 model, right? So if the government indeed demands that foreigners to the US would not be able to use that model, right? Then we're at the point where you have to scan an ID or a passport or do facial recognition before you can you can actually use the software. I'm not quite sure how that's possible to implement, right? Because you could always have somebody log on for somebody or associate an ID with an account, but maybe some of the trusted mechanisms will be used, right, where an actual ID is mapped or a passport with the biometrics that will be very hard to circumvent. So yeah, I think we'll see what that means and how that will be implemented, right? To if it's really going to come out for U.S. citizens only in the short term.
Yeah, and what is in a way fascinating is it's not really clear who controls what. Who controls the tools, who controls the rules, who controls the narrative, when actually AI is moving much faster than any institution can govern it. So we see the tension between the publisher of the model and the government, and it's not clear at this stage who has the governance and the power and the restriction, and maybe that's why this is going back and forth, because there is no process to release a new model. There is no check before doing so. It's really at the will of the publisher, and then all of a sudden we realize that it has some threats or flaws or issues, and then someone says, oh, you have to stop, and it goes backwards. I mean, this is really unusual, I feel.
Yes, it really really is. I mean, you mentioned this data retention policy, right? Where again, speculating here, but if that history were kept for a period of time, and it would allow the vendor or manufacturer of the software to inspect that, or the government perhaps, right, to analyze some of the usage, and depending on what that looks like, then follow up and see, hey, why is that person looking into biological topics which could potentially be harmful, right, or any other information security topics, or something that looks like they're trying to find out how to hack into systems, right?
Yeah,
That could be looked at retroactively. But again, what are the rules, right?
yeah,
How can you
and
go
it's
back and say,
again,
hey, this is okay,
yeah,
this is not okay, right? It's like, hey, I'm just doing
exactly.
research.
Exactly, it's going to mass surveillance, and we know the two sides of the coin. I mean, some could be good and preventive, but other is just about privacy and freedom. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's a very fine line.
Yes, it really is, and I think we'll have to see what the next steps are. Right? I mean, if nothing else, then all the activity that happens within that model would then be associated to a user, which, like you said, creates some accountability because it's no longer anonymous or somewhat anonymous, right? Of what the usage has been, and somebody actively could review what work is going on, right? Whether you do something for your business or again something nefarious that could be causing harm to somebody in the real world.
So we talked a lot about Anthropic, but do we think or have we heard, of other models going through the same issues, or is it really concentrated on that publisher for the time being?
Yeah, nothing. The only thing that I was able to find is again rumors, right?
Mm,
Because it's based on what we've seen, right? It can't be too long until the competition catches up,
yeah.
right? Whoever was in, I mean, we've talked about this several times before, right? Somebody comes out with this beautiful new AI model with all great capabilities, and it looks like they're the winner, and they're gonna succeed and outpace everybody else. Only for a few weeks later for the
Yes.
competition to upend them and be ahead again, right? And this has been this constant catching up, and I would expect that in due time we'll probably see something similar, and that raises similar questions from the competition as well. So I think it wouldn't be too long. And interestingly enough, I saw one mention of Meta,
Yeah.
Facebook maker, even presumably working towards a model that can rival what Mythos can do with a release into next year. But again, could be a rumor, could be real. Who knows?
Okay. It's I mean it's I I can't say dynamic, it's more than dynamic, it's incredible times. I mean every day when I look at my news feed, I see so many applications of AI, and sometimes it's buzz, sometimes it's real, and it's really hard to catch up.
Yeah, yes, it really is, and like we always say, we kind of feel for business leaders, right, that are like operating this environment. We had a while where some businesses unfortunately had big layoffs of workers, which was
Mhm.
blamed on AI, right? And at the same time, everybody's still trying to figure out what AI can do for them, right? And I think
Yeah,
this is still right. If you have such a leap with what Mythos and Fable are supposed to be, right? How do you deal with that, right? How do you incorporate that into a business to leverage it for helping customers ultimately, right? And I
yeah.
think that's still, with this rapid change, is still a constant battle to figure out and understand what all of this is and what it means to the business and to the competition and an industry even.
And maybe just as a closure, I found a very interesting post that uh, uh, there was a judge in China that stated that it was illegal to replace a human employee by an AI to reduce costs. So that's also, incredible, because all we hear about is AI to be more effective, to increase productivity, and now you have one of the leaders in technology saying no, now you cannot lay off people because of AI.
Yeah.
This is quite interesting as well.
Yes, indeed, and even industry leaders in the AI world are changing their tune a little bit, right? Where some of
Yeah,
them have initially said like, "Oh, everybody will lose their job in the next 12 to 18 months," right? And then now they're turning around, probably more than a PR move, right? Realizing, no, this is not exactly going to happen this way. It's more about an enhancement, right? It remains a tool that we
yeah,
can maybe do better work and faster that we could do, but then everybody can do a lot more with it also, right? So I think it's just raising the abilities of what we can do rather than replacing the user of it, if you will.
yeah. Super. Thank you so much, Dominic, for the discussion
Yeah, thank
today.
you, and thanks
And
everyone for watching. I think we'll keep an eye on and see how this develops. May not be the last word on Mythos and Fable. We'll see what the near future holds.
thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.